Here's what I got going on. I recently purchased some snowshoes, so I'm up here in Crystal Mountain, Washington to do some snowshoeing. Like many ski resorts, Crystal Mountain does have a designated snowshoeing area. So here's the plan. We're starting out here, and I'm going to take the TNT trail until I connect in with the Mary Lee trail. We'll follow that up. It does cross several of the other trails. And then I'll take the Bullion Loop trail. And then somewhere in this area, I'm going to start looking for a spot to do some off-trail snowshoeing. But my guess is that I probably won't find any until I get to right about here, which is starting to get above the tree line. But my guess is that it's going to be pretty rugged out here. I'm at the start of the TNT trail. They have this rated as the most difficult. The one thing that I do like about Crystal Mountain is that you don't need to have a day pass to be out here. They do have some snowmobile trails like this one. You do need to have a permit to use them though. I'm about to get on the Mary's Lee trail. The TNT trail is probably less than half a mile. I made it to the first spot with a decent view, and this first mountain on the right is the Crystal Mountain skiing area. And then basically towards the center of the screen is where Mount Rainier would be, but it's all socked in right now. Okay, I'm just past the split on the Bullion Trail, and this section of the trail looks like it doesn't get used as much, so I'm starting to get to test my snowshoes. Well, I've been going for about an hour now. I think I'm at some kind of boundary to Crystal Mountain. Got this sign here, and then there's a couple structures up here. It might be like emergency shelter type situations like this building right here, or it could be some kind of research station. But I'm going to pause here for a moment to have something to eat, and then we'll keep moving. Alright, I just got to the end of the Bullion Loop trail, and we kind of have a junction here. Off to the left, you can't see it though, is the end of the Chutes and Ladders trail. And then right in front of us is the Ted's trail. And then kind of off to the right, there's a path that I can snowshoe into the backcountry. Okay, I am off the trails that are maintained by Crystal Mountain. Even though we're off those trails, this area still seems to get a lot of use. Right as I was turning off Ted's trail to get onto this path, there was a couple skiers coming down. Of course, I asked them how it was. They use the term punchy to describe the snow up here. I know it is really powdery, so I mean, if as long as I can maintain on this packed trails from the skiers, and there may even have been some snowshoers that have come up this way, should be all right. I just don't want to deal with breaking through all the snow. Now that I'm in the backcountry, I want to talk a little bit about avalanche danger. So there is a rating system here in the US, and it's 5 different levels, rating from low all the way up to extreme. They also have a rating for the size of the avalanches, but I'm not too familiar with that. Here in the Northwest, we have the Northwest Avalanche Center, and they have a website, and you can get all sorts of education from them. But some of the more popular areas, or maybe the more areas prone to avalanches, they break it down by zones, and they give a rating, and you can just go online and look at them each day. Well, I can definitely see signs of avalanches. They're real small ones. They're not large enough to cover a person. I'm guessing most of it's from the snow that has been falling off the limbs because it is warming up. The avalanche rating is only moderate for this area right now. I've come across this opening, and I'm kind of wondering if there's a lake here in the summertime. But we're at somewhat of a crossroads. People have kind of spread out in multiple different directions. Where I'm pointing is Bullion Mountain, and I can actually see signs of people that have skied down it. It looks like people have taken multiple paths to get up there, off to the right, and then cutting across the opening. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go up this direction, and hopefully I get some views, but I mean, it is cloudy right now, so who knows. Okay, this is going to be the turnaround spot. Mount Rainier should be somewhere in this area, and I'm pretty sure we should be able to see it by now. And even if I went any higher, I mean, it's completely socked in, so there's really no point, and the conditions are starting to get worse. I know that they're calling for snow tomorrow at Crystal Mountain, but it looks like it's blowing in early. So I'm not even going to stop here for lunch. I'm going to start moving back to Crystal Mountain before it gets too much worse. So there you go. These things kind of happen. I'm back on Crystal Mountain's designated trails, and I have to eat my words a little bit. The weather has cleared up quite a bit. Of course, weather up here can be unpredictable, and by the time I get down to Crystal Mountain, a good majority of the cloud cover will burned off, and of course, up at the turnaround spot, I'd probably be able to see Mount Rainier, but that's what it is. So because it has cleared up quite a bit, I'm not going to take the most expedited route. I'm probably going to hit up some of the other trails. Well, it might be hard to see, but straight in front of me there's a helicopter flying around. It's either some kind of tourist helicopter or observation helicopter. It's not an emergency vehicle because it's been circling around for quite some time. But I'm about to go on Chutes and Ladders because it is starting to clear up, as you can see. Well, I just finished up Chutes and Ladders, and that was probably a mistake. There's no set trail, and people just kind of make their own switchbacks, and with it being super powdery, you're just digging in pretty much anywhere you go. At one point I dug in so much I basically lost control and started sliding down the mountain. I think I'm going to stop here at this point where you connect with the Bullion Trail and have lunch and enjoy the scenery. Well, I just finished up lunch. There's a pack of ramen. It's just to hold me over until I either got back to my van, the lodge at Crystal Mountain, where they have food, or back into Enumclaw, which is where I'm heading to tonight. But look at this. Look at this. This is the direction of Mount Rainier. I almost guarantee you that if I were up at my turnaround spot right now, I would be able to see Mount Rainier. Unfortunately, it would take me about 45 minutes to an hour to get back to that spot, and I've already been on the trail for probably 2+ hours, and my legs are starting to feel it now, so that's what it is. I called it, and I'm not even down to the parking lot. I'm almost back to the ski resort, so I'm going to drop my snowshoes off at the car, and then I'm going to head back up to the lodge to check it out. Well, this is a wrap for the day up at Crystal Mountain. After I got done snowshoeing, I did go up to the lodge, had a beer, hung out for a little bit, and watched the skiers. Once I got done with that, I went down to Lot F to find the trailhead for Bull Loop. But there are a lot of other opportunities out here to do some snowshoeing on the service roads. So, like I said, that's a wrap for the day up at Crystal Mountain. I want to thank you for watching.